All right, well then I guess I'll get started. I guess there are a few people here that don't know me. My name is Andrew Gilmore, and thank you. I was hoping that would happen. Anyway, I wrote this show, so I just want to take a few minutes to tell you about it before we get started. And I want to introduce the cast. First of all, we have somebody I've been friends with for maybe 6 or 7 years. We've known each other quite a while, but we've never actually worked in a show together, and I wanted to make sure that that happened. And he's a professional actor. He's been acting for many, many years, so I'm very happy to have him with us. How about a round of applause for my friend Dick Lee? And next to Dick is somebody that I met about 1.5 years ago. Some of you probably know our friend Jim Harris, and I can wait a few minutes for people to settle in here. Anyway, if any of you know Jim, Jim Harris does a show once a month at a place called Alma Mater, a radio show called Avenue G, and I was a guest on Avenue G about 1.5 years ago. And there was this woman doing all these great characters, and I thought, there's got to be a way I can get her on one of my shows. This woman's fantastic. And I wrote an email to her about it, and I thought, there's no way she's going to do this show. I know she's really busy. She's a writer on Jim's show, and she performs on Jim's show, and she has a day job, and she's just busy, busy, busy. So I thought, there's no way she's going to do this. But I wrote an email to her, and she said yes, and she's here. So that was a major goal for me in this project. So this is Martha Michael. And over on the end there is, I was having some trouble finding a fourth person for this show, but so I held auditions. I put an ad online, comedian wanted for a radio sketch show, and so on. And he was nice enough to actually come over to my house to audition, because usually for a radio show I just take auditions through email. People can just send me their voice. But he was nice enough to come over and audition in person, and he got the job. So we've been rehearsing for a couple of months now, and he's been a lot of fun to work with. This is Michael Mallon. And if any of you have never been to a live radio show before, all it boils down to really is we sit here and do silly voices, and you sit there and look at us. So it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of using your ears and your imagination and trying to recapture what people used to do in the 30s and 40s before television came along to ruin it. And so that's, I was very lucky to get people who were talented enough to do a lot of voices. I thought it was worth pointing out that there are 33 characters in this show, all being played by just these 4 people. So it's not an easy thing to do. I was lucky to get people that had those skills. So I think we're about ready to start. The only other thing I should mention is that I'm recording this. It's going to be on YouTube. So for God's sake, laugh, will you? Otherwise, it'll be very boring. We need your help. So if I can just get my mic settled in there. We might not be able to read everything because of the lighting in here, but we'll do our best. So are you guys all ready? And are you guys ready? That's what I'm doing.
I don't have to be ready. I can drink my coffee.
That's right. He's not in for the first few pages. So. Okay then. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Radio Vaudeville, where we present a little bit of everything and take you on a journey through the wonderful world of radio comedy.
Radio comedy? Andrew, you know nobody listens to radio comedy anymore.
Well, what about Avenue G? Once a month, first Fridays at Alma Mater, 7165 Germantown Avenue.
Well, of course, everybody listens to that. But I mean, aside from that, radio comedy's dead. If you want to be a comedian today, you have to make YouTube videos.
Well, it shouldn't be dead. There's so many things you can do on radio that you can't do anywhere else. You can create pictures in the audience's mind. You can create a whole world just using sound. For instance, say you were walking down the street and an anvil fell on your head.
Ow! What the hell?
I'm just proving a point. Bear with me here. Say an anvil fell on your head and then a bee stung you on the arm.
Ouch!
And the whole thing was happening on the edge of a swimming pool and you fell in.
To me for?
Well, those were just sound effects. They can't really hurt you.
So the magic of radio is an unbridled sadism. Is that what you're saying?
No. No, we're just trying to give the audience a mental picture and make them think those things happen to you. We produce the sound and they can visualize it however they want. You can't do it that way on TV.
Oh, yeah? Well, just for putting me through all that, let's say a school bus landed on you from out of nowhere. And then a bear came along and decided to eat you.
Ah!
handsome prince rode up on a white horse and took me away. I think I'm starting to like this radio stuff.
Hey, get back here. We've got a show to do.
Fine. What do you want to do?
We want to take our audience back to the kinds of shows you might have heard on the radio in the old days. But first, let's take a look at current radio. Of course, one of the few forms left on radio these days is talk shows. And of course, who does that better than NPR here in Philly? We'd like to give you our idea of a typical radio talk show.
Hello, I'm Priscilla Shapiro. Welcome to another edition of Music Chat. Today is the last in our three-part retrospective of American folk music, and we're honored to have a very special guest with us today. He is one of the last of the great Delta blues musicians. I'm sure you're all familiar with his many classic blues albums from the 1960s, including Clubfoot Jones Sings the Blues, Clubfoot Jones Sings the Blues Again, Clubfoot Jones Sings the Blues a third time, Clubfoot Jones Keeps on Singing the Blues, Clubfoot Jones Doesn't Sing the Blues, Clubfoot Jones Sings Something Else for a Change, Clubfoot Jones Goes Back to Singing the Blues, Clubfoot Jones Still Singing the Blues, Clubfoot Jones Sings More blues songs he just remembered, Clubfoot Jones sings all the blues songs he forgot about before, and for God's sake, will Clubfoot Jones ever stop singing the blues? The last of which went triple platinum. It's a great honor to have him with us here today. Please welcome Blind Willie Nilly.
Thank you, Priscilla. It's a pleasure to be here.
Blind Willie Nilly?
Yes, that's my name.
Are you any relation to Clubfoot Jones?
Oh, well, you see, that was my maiden name before I got married.
I see.
Yeah, some folks call me Alfred McGillicuddy.
Why?
Why not?
I see. Well, I'll just call you Mr. Nilly, all right?
Yes, that's fine.
Mr. Nilly, how did you get started in the music business?
Well, really, you might say I was born into the music business.
How so?
Well, you see, we were so poor, my parents couldn't afford to buy a bed. So they always slept inside a guitar. I was born into it. And that guitar had been handed down to us by my grandfather. You see, he used to sleep inside a banjo, but he worked his way up and brought himself a guitar and started sleeping in that.
Very interesting.
Yes, and you see, my mother used to get out of the guitar at night and play some songs for the kids to put us to sleep. So that was some of the first music I ever heard.
Ah, so that's how you developed your lifelong love of music.
Well, no. You see, we were sleeping between the strings, and when she would play, instead of putting us to sleep, all that noise kept us awake. I couldn't stand it.
It's unfortunate. Well, what motivated you to become a musician yourself?
Well, you see, when I had my first son, he wouldn't listen to anything I said. And when I tried to talk to him about something, he'd just fall asleep. So I started playing the guitar just to keep him awake.
I mean,
Yeah, he slept in it. It was the same guitar.
So you're carrying on a family tradition then. Good for you.
Yeah, you know, I was hoping he'd pass it on to my grandson, but it's too dangerous to sleep inside them electric guitars. At least while they're plugged in.
So, aside from playing at home to keep your son awake, how did you start playing the blues professionally?
Oh, I started out playing in bars, mostly around New York.
I see. And what kind of audience response were you getting in those early years?
Yeah, not too good, I guess. There wasn't much of an audience.
How do you mean?
Well, you see, when I started out, I'd sit in the bar until closing time, and then whenever there were some drunks around that didn't want to go home, the bartender would pay me $10 to play my guitar. That usually got them to leave pretty quickly.
Well, $10 a performance, that's not so bad for a beginner.
Yeah, those were the good old days.
Well, I'd like to jump ahead just a little bit and talk about your early albums. I noticed something unusual about your discography. It looks like every song on every album is called Sunday Morning Blues. Is there a reason for that?
Well, it's easy to remember the titles that way.
Well, of course, many magazines have written articles about your work over the years, and you're known for your poetic insights into the troubles of modern mankind, the expression of working class angst, the deep understanding of the sorrows we all experience in life at one time or another. This, of course, is what makes you one of the great blues musicians. Would you care to play something for us now? I see you brought your guitar with you.
Yes, and this isn't the one my kids sleep in. I only use this for playing.
I see. Well, please, play a song for us. I think our audience would be delighted to hear you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Well, This is a song I wrote in 1961. It's called Sunday Morning Blues. When I woke up this morning, made myself some buttered toast. Said I woke up this morning, made myself some buttered toast. I made it with some whole wheat bread, 'cause that's the kind I likes the most. Then my dog came into the room, I petted him and I was glad. I said my dog came into the room, I petted him and I was glad. I love that little dog, yeah. He's the best dog I ever had. Then I went and took a shower. The water, it was nice and warm. Oh, yeah. I went upstairs and took a shower. The water, it was nice and warm.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but,
Yes?
well, I mean, that's not exactly a blues song, is it? Making toast, petting your dog, taking a shower. I mean, blues songs are supposed to be sad.
Well, I wrote that on a good day.
It's very nice, I'm sure, but I was talking about your poetic insight into the human condition, and you sing about making toast. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think that's really what our audience expected.
Oh, I see. You wanted one of the sad ones. I understand.
Yes.
That's all right. I'll try another one. This one I wrote a little later. It was in 1982, and it's called Sunday Morning Blues. Woke up this morning, never felt so sad in all my life. Said I woke up this morning, never felt so sad in all my life. The landlord wants his rent, and I haven't got any money. My wife, she ran away, she left me for another man. Yeah, my wife, she ran away, she left me for another man. I don't know who he is, but I think I'm gonna call the cops and try to find him. Then I left her.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't interrupt, but that song doesn't rhyme.
Well, it's harder to write them when they rhyme. That's too much work.
Mr. Miller, I'm sorry, this doesn't seem to be going too well. Do you have a blues song that is sad and does rhyme?
Oh, sure. I've written lots of those.
Well, I'd like to hear one, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to play one for you. This one's called Sunday Morning Blues. Well, I woke up this morning and I couldn't find my shoes. Said I woke up this morning, I just lost 2 strings.
Oh, well, we're almost out of time. Is there something else you can do since you can't play that guitar?
Oh, well, I can play the kazoo.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Blind Willie Nilly playing the kazoo to his Grammy-nominated single, Sunday Morning Blues. Thank you so much for being with us.
It was my pleasure, Priscilla.
That was Blind Willie Nilly joining us for a discussion of blues music. Next week is Audience Participation Week on Music Chat, as our guests will be Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, and the singing Chimp. And we'll be challenging the audience to tell which one is the chimp. I'm Priscilla Shapiro. Good night.
Then, of course, there are the talk shows in England. They do them a little bit differently over there.
Yes, they do them with English accents.
Well, we'd like to share your idea of a typical English talk show.
Well, fancy that. Jolly good old chap. Well done. Hip, hip, cheerio, tally-ho, and all that. What? Eh, what?
Look, are you going to keep being silly, or can I get on with the sketch?
Well, I wish you would.
Well, I will. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Chatorama. I'm your host, Bernard-Smith. Today, our guest is a very famous explorer, known for his many travels around the world, observing wildlife of all kinds. His name is known throughout the world. His books have received many notable awards. It's a great honor to have such a distinguished guest with us today. What did you say your name was again, sir?
I say, if I'm so blasted famous, how is it you don't know my name?
Well, our camera crew brought you in here a few moments before we went on the air. I'm really not quite sure who you are.
I am Sir Talbot Bottomley, of course.
Ah, yes, Sir Talbot Bottomley, the former professional wrestler.
No.
Oh, I beg your pardon. That's the other Sir Talbot Bottomley. You're the explorer, yes?
I certainly am.
Very good. Now then, Sir Talbot, I understand you've made some very unusual discoveries in the past year. Please tell us about them.
Yes, I should be most happy to. I was in Nairobi this past season, you see.
Nairobi? That's in New Jersey, isn't it?
Oh, no, certainly not. Nairobi is in Kenya.
Ah, yes. Continue.
Well, I was in Nairobi, and I discovered some most unusual animals there. For instance, there's one quite remarkable specimen I brought with me here. The world's only invisible rhinoceros. There he is, standing beside me.
I can't see him.
Well, that's because he's invisible, of course.
But then, Sir Talbot, if he's invisible, how am I supposed to know that he's here?
Well, on the other hand, how do you know he isn't?
Touché.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. What else did you discover there?
Well, there are some very unusual birds in Nairobi. For example, I saw a whipsnap there.
I beg your pardon?
A whipsnap, it's a very large bird, quite very unusual diet. It eats nothing but garlic, onions, and Limburger cheese. And when it flies past you, a whipsnap. There's also a bird there that lays eggs. Isn't that remarkable? A bird laying eggs.
But, Sir Talbot, I was led to believe that most all birds lay eggs.
They do. Oh, good heavens. Isn't that a bit unusual?
Not for birds, no.
Well, I did discover an animal there that I'm sure no one's ever seen before. This may sound peculiar to you, but it's called a hippopotamus.
A hippopotamus? But surely, Sir Talbot, those have already been discovered.
What?
Yes, I'm fairly certain that most people already know what a hippopotamus is.
Oh, bother, I thought I was the first one to find them. Well, I can tell you this. I discovered an animal that has 4 legs. Bet you've never seen that before, eh? 4 legs or an animal, isn't that most unusual?
No, it isn't.
Oh.
Sir Talbot, are you quite sure you're familiar with the wildlife of Africa? It seems to me you're rather ill-informed about this whole thing.
Why, how dare you? Of course I know all about wildlife. I've been in Africa very often in my time, young man. I can prove it. I've brought a film clip with me. Here, now, there we go. See? There I am, walking through the jungle with my gun in search of game. That was in Nairobi, or was it Bungoma? No, it was Nairobi, and right there is a herd of elephants rushing out, and you can see on the film, you can see how the herd of elephants trampled me, and I was killed.
You were killed?
Yes.
But, Sir Talbot, if you were killed, how is it you're sitting here right now?
Oh dear. Not again.
Wait a minute. Well, our guest seems to have disappeared. Well, on that rather existential note, join us again next week on Chatorama, when our guest will be someone alive. This is Bernard-Smith saying goodbye and good luck. Now you can applaud. It's one thing I don't like, an audience that jumps its cues.
Well, that segment ended abruptly.
I know, I couldn't think of anything else to do when I was writing it.
Wonderful. These people came here to see a big show written by a guy who can't even write a 5-minute sketch. What are you going to do next? Card tricks?
No, we're going to do some more sketches.
I can hardly wait.
We want to take you folks back to the early days of TV. Of course, a lot of the kinds of shows on early TV started on radio first. And one kind of show they don't have anymore are the local children's shows on independent stations. I guess those haven't been on for several decades now, so we made one up for you.
Hi there, kids! Welcome to another fun-packed edition of Uncle Dick's Kitty Hour. We've got all kinds of fun for you this afternoon, but first, let me remind you kids at home that Uncle Dick's Kitty Hour is brought to you through the courtesy of Goldfarb's Dog Food, the only dog food that is so good even a human could eat it. And just to prove it, I'm going to eat some of it myself. What? We didn't rehearse this.
Uncle Dick, just do what it says on the card. The sponsors want.
Oh, I mean, of course we rehearsed it. I'm going to eat a whole bowl full of this lovely, nutritious dog food, guaranteed to keep all your dogs healthy and happy. That sure is good, and that just goes to show you, kids, that if you really put your mind to it, you can do anything. Just imagine a big grown-up like Uncle Dick eating something that's made for dogs. Gosh, I hope Uncle Dick's medical insurance covers this one. And now, kids, it's time for the educational part of our show. I have an important lesson to teach you kids at home. Now, I'm sure many of you who are in school, well, you might see some fat kids there, and some of you probably make fun of those fat kids. Well, I know I did when I was your age. Well, I was wrong to do that. Just keep that in mind, kids. It's not nice to make fun of fat kids. It's mean, and it hurts their feelings. So, just to make the point, we've conducted a worldwide search for the most overweight kid under the age of 13, and we're going to bring him on so that Uncle Dick can show you that fat children are nice people too. Here he is, Tommy Johnson from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. He's 12 years old and he weighs 530 pounds. Tommy, would you please come in here and talk to us?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Oh, my goodness. Tommy appears to have fallen through the floor. Oh, well. You never know what's going to happen on live television, do you, kids? That's what makes it so exciting. Now I have...
Uncle Dick, shouldn't we be doing something about Tommy?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Of course. Throw him a comic book. That way he'll have something to do until the show's over. Now then, kids, I have another special guest today. You remember, we've had talent scouts searching all over the country to find talented kids to bring on this show. Well, I'm happy to say we found a very talented little boy who's going to come on and do something for us. Now, I haven't seen this little boy's act. I don't know what he does, but we're going to find out. Gary, would you please bring the kid out? Well, hi there, little boy.
Hi, Uncle Dick.
Is this your mommy with you?
Yeah, I'm his mom. Listen, what do we win for being on this show?
Huh?
You heard me. What do we win?
Well, we'll discuss that after the program.
Oh, no, you don't. You give me and my son something or we're leaving.
Oh, dear. You can have some Goldfarb's dog food. There you go. A whole bag full of yummy, delicious treats for your dog.
We don't have a dog. We have a goldfish.
You could empty the bag of dog food, fill it with water, and keep your fish in there. How's that?
Hey, what kind of crummy show is this anyway? No cash, no washing machines. All we get is a bag of this lousy dog food.
Please, madam, can I get on with talking to your son?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'm gonna go get a cigarette.
Oh, kids, don't listen to that lady. Remember, only grown-ups are allowed to smoke cigarettes. Now then, maybe this little boy will be a little nicer to talk to than his mommy. What's your name, Sonny?
My name's Timmy.
Timmy! That's a nice name. And how old are you?
6 years old.
Mm-hmm. And, I know, just for fun, who's your favorite cartoon character?
Uncle Dick.
Now, Timmy, now I'm glad you said that. That brings up another important lesson for today. You see, you have to learn the difference between cartoons and real life. I'm not a cartoon character.
Well, if you're not a cartoon character, how come you have such a big nose?
Ow! Oh, you dirty, rotten, that's very funny, Timmy. Now, I understand you're here because you have a special talent that you want to share with our television audience.
Uh-huh.
Very good. What is it you do?
I do imitations.
Oh, well, this should be interesting. Go ahead. Let's hear you do some imitations.
Okay. Number 1. That's number 1.
Well, I don't get it, Timmy. What was that an imitation of?
That was Harpo Marx. Number 2. Number 2. That was Marcel Marceau.
Well, Timmy, I think that's all the time we have for...
Wait! I was going to do Helen Keller.
Well, maybe later. Right now we... oh, wait a minute. Ooh, what's that smell? Something's burning.
Yeah, I forgot to put my cigarette out before I threw it away. Your studio's on fire.
Ah! Quick, somebody do something. Of course it is. Like I said, this is live television. This sort of thing happens all the time. You know, it's all right. Quick, Harry, put that fire out, will you? Well, you've been such wonderful guests on Uncle Dick's Kitty Hour. Thank you for being with us today.
Wait a minute. You didn't let me do my act.
Your act? I really don't think we have time for that. We've only just a few minutes left.
Oh, all right. Then I guess I'll have to come back on tomorrow's show.
Oh, no. What I mean is we've got just enough time to let you do your act today. What is it you do?
I'm a magician.
You're telling me. Gary, is that fire out yet? Oh, okay. A magician, huh? Well, that should be very entertaining. Do you need some sort of props or anything?
Yeah. You got a watch?
I
can't do this trick without a watch.
Well, I have this one, but this is very valuable. It's a solid gold watch that NBC gave me for 25 years of hosting Uncle Dick's Kitty Hour on radio and television.
Oh, well, that'll do just fine. Give it to me.
Oh, but please be careful of it.
It'll be fine. It's the old disappearing watch trick. My husband and I used to do this in Vaudeville.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You see, I take the watch, and I cover it with a handkerchief like this.
Uh-huh.
Then I smash it with a hammer like this.
Hey! What are you...
It's all right. I told you. My husband and I used to do this trick all the time.
But my watch is...
And then I say the magic words, Yefrock, Heresy, Alakazam. And look under the handkerchief and the watch is, Uh-oh.
My watch is ruined! Oh, but isn't the trick that you're supposed to put it back together again?
Yeah, but that must be the part my husband knows.
Why, you stupid little...
Uncle Dick, we're still on the air.
Well, that was a wonderful trick, miss. We're so glad you stopped by the show today. Thank you very much.
Uncle Dick, fear segment.
Oh, do we really have to do that now?
Yes, the sponsor's still watching.
Oh, okay. Well, kids, before we go, Uncle Dick has to close the show with today's segment about fears. I know most of you kids have something you're afraid of, whether it's spiders or monsters or whatever else it might be. But I'm here to show you that there's really nothing to be afraid of in this whole world. If you're afraid of something, you have to face it head on and learn to overcome it. Now, Timmy, I understand your worst fear is the monkey bars on the playground at your school.
Yeah, Uncle Dick. Every time I try to swing across the monkey bars, I'm afraid I'm gonna fall.
Oh, now, Timmy, no. I'm here to show you that there's really nothing to be afraid of. We've got a set of monkey bars set up right here in the studio, and we're going to help you learn to swing across them like you always wanted to.
No!
Now, just relax, Timmy. It's okay. Your mommy and I will be right here to catch you. Don't worry. You see, you kids at home? See how he's holding on to one bar? Then he uses his other hand to move to the next bar. That's it, Timmy. Good. And then he uses his other hand to move to the next one.
I'm scared.
Oh, don't be scared, Timmy. We're right underneath you. We'll catch you if you need help. See? One bar, then the next one, and the next one. That's good, Timmy. Keep going. Oh, dear. He fell into the hole Tommy Johnson ran in on the floor.
Hey, that's my kid down there, you jerk. Get him back up here.
So you see, kids, we've made a new record today. 2 kids falling through the floor instead of just one. And that's another little lesson for today, kids. Set new goals for yourself every day. And then see if you can top them. Well, we're just about out of time, so until tomorrow afternoon at the same hour, this is your Uncle Dick saying, help!
And of course, the king of all genres in the early days of television, and going back to radio too, was the Western. And you really don't see a lot of them on TV nowadays, but here's ours.
Well, howdy, Tex. Ain't seen you around these parts for quite a spell.
I know, Rosie. Me and the boys have been all over the county trying to capture that bandit.
You mean the Kinkajou?
Yeah, that's what they call him. He done got away from us again.
That's a gall-darn shame, Tex.
The gall-darnedest, Rosie. Gall-darn that gall-darn Kinkajou anyhow, gall-darn it.
Well, now that you're here, what do you have?
Give me a whiskey, gal.
Coming right up. Gotta serve this other fellow over here first. What can I get for you, partner?
Partner, oh, I say, how quaint. If you please, waitress, I shall have a lobster and béarnaise sauce, a filet mignon medium rare, a chocolate eclair, and oh yes, a demi-tasse. Thank you ever so much, my dear.
You wait around these parts, are ya, partner?
I'm afraid not, sir.
I thought not. Oh, sorry.
I thought not. Listen, mister, we don't serve no Bernie sauce and filet mini around here. You come in here, you got 2 choices. Pig's feet or scrambled eggs.
Oh, how vulgar. Well, may I have a drink?
Well, I reckon I can fix you up with a drink. What was it you ordered?
Well, I did order a demi-tasse, but now that I think about it, what I'm really in the mood for is a little alcoholic beverage.
Now you're talking our language. What'll it be?
Well, I was really in the mood for a cocktail, you know. Do you have sex on the beach?
That's none of your business, mister.
Say, partner, where I come from, we don't talk to women folk like that.
I beg your pardon, I was referring to a cocktail. It's made with vodka, you know. It's quite good.
Vodka. We don't serve no foreign drinks around here. We got beer and whiskey.
Oh, such barbarian beverages. Perhaps I came into the wrong place.
Say, just where the heck are you from, anyway?
Me, sir? I'm from Chestnut Hill.
You're from where?
Chestnut Hill, Texas.
Oh, a local boy, huh? I never heard of Chestnut Hill, Texas. Where's that?
Oh, it's near, Dog's Tooth.
Oh, Dog's Tooth, Texas. Oh, you mean that little town between Johnson County and Smittyville?
Oh, yes, that's the one.
Oh, where there's this little red schoolhouse where Mrs. Sullivan used to teach.
Yes.
And there's this Little gas station that runs by the fellow with the lazy eye?
Yes.
And the ice cream shop where they always run out of chocolate on Saturdays?
Yes, that's the place, all right.
Why, you know good ornery cuss, that's on the east side of Texas. I'm from the west side. Now, listen here, mister. We don't cotton to no foreigners here at Rosie's Saloon.
Oh, dear.
Round here is only one thing we can do with foreigners. We'll have to shoot this out, buddy. Pistols at 4 paces.
Must we?
I reckon so. It's the law of the West.
Oh, my.
I'll hold your coat, Tex.
Thank you, Rosie. Step outside there, Ferner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doggone it, I missed.
Miss? You mean you didn't shoot that fella?
Nope.
And where is he?
He done got scared and run off. That'll teach him to come around here, that sidewinding varmint.
Sidewinding.
I don't know what it means either, gal, but I just say it.
Excuse me, could I have some service over here?
Well, that's funny. I can't see where that voice is coming from.
Down here.
Oh, I beg your pardon, sir. Who are you?
I'm a cowboy. I'm just on my way out to buy a new horse. Give me a beer.
Say, you ain't very tall for a cowboy.
We'll make it a short beer then.
Right with you. Say, Tex, tell me more about that bandit, the Kinkajou. I hear he's a pretty tough fella.
Oh, he ain't so tough. My boys and I, we'll get him soon enough.
Why, I hear he's the best shot in the county. The paper says he done killed 50 men with 1 bullet.
No, they got that wrong, Rosie. He done killed 1 man with 50 bullets. He's a lousy shot, took him 49 tries.
You're both wrong there, folks. He killed 50 men with 50 bullets. You know what that means. He never misses.
Yeah? Well, tell me, stranger, is it true he held up a bank this morning and stole $10,000?
Yep.
And what about that grocery store that was robbed last week where $200 and a bushel of sugar was stolen? That was him too, wasn't it?
Yep.
And they say he broke into a rich gal's house and stole her diamond necklace. That's true too?
Yep.
Say, stranger, you seem to know a lot of details about this here Kinkajou. How is it you know so much about him?
You mean you don't know who I am?
Nope, reckon I don't.
Then I'll show you.
Look, Tex, he's taking off his glasses.
Hey, he's taking off his wig.
He's taking off his false mustache.
Now do you know who I am?
Nope. Maybe if you took the clothespin off in your nose.
Oh yeah. I am the Kinkajou.
Well, imagine that, the Kinkajou right here in Rosie's Saloon. Say, can I have your autograph?
Well, maybe later. Right now I got business to do. They were supposed to put me on trial today, but I ran away before they could bring me to court. Now, you see, I gotta have somebody to defend me, and if I were a married man, my wife couldn't testify against me in court. Rosie, gal, you gotta marry me, or I'll shoot.
Well, that ain't right like fire, Mr. Kinkajou. You see, Rosie here is already engaged to me.
Oh, well, shucks. Rosie, if you don't marry me instead of him, I'll steal all the money in the cash register.
Go ahead. There's only a nickel in there right now. Business ain't so good these days.
Oh, well, if you don't marry me, I'll recite poetry.
What? You wouldn't dare do none of that highfalutin stuff in a regular place like this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Mr. Kinkajou. I ain't a-gonna marry you, and that's fine.
From childhood's hour I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passion from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow.
Stop it! I can't stand it. Now looky here, Mr. Kinkajou. I don't mind you robbing banks or holding up trains or shooting people just for a lark. But when you start bringing that highbrow stuff into a saloon, that's going too far. You got a lot of nerve talking to me like that.
Well, gal, I got more poetry where that came from, and you can't stop me. What do you say now? Will you marry me?
Why, Mr. Kinkajou, I couldn't marry you even if I wanted to. Don't you know who I am?
No.
You don't recognize me? Here, let me show you.
What the? She's taken off her glasses. And her wig.
Don't you recognize me now?
No. You forgot to take off your fake mustache.
What do you mean, fake? Hey, pardon me just a moment. There. Do you recognize me now?
Why, you're not... Oh, why, you look just like...
Yeah, that's right. I'm your mother.
Ma!
That's right, son. And you've got a lot of explaining to do. What's the matter with you, robbing banks at your age? I thought I told you to complete that stuff when you were 13.
I know, Ma, but I was...
And you shouldn't go around shooting people like that. One of these days you'll put your eye up with that gun. I tried to warn you.
But Ma, I was just trying to...
Robbing people, shooting people, holding up trains, staying out all night. And if that's not enough, you never call me. You never write me a letter.
Well, shucks, Ma, I don't know how to write.
Excuses, excuses. Don't you think your mama wants to know what your little boy is doing with his life? Is it so much to ask you should pick up the phone once in a while and give your mama a call?
Well, Ma, if I'd known you feel that way about it, I would...
And another thing. Take off those dirty boots. You're tracking mud all over my floor. Go upstairs and get some sleep, woman. I know you've had a hard day. I'll bring you a glass of milk. And don't forget to brush your teeth.
Yes, Ma.
Gosh, Rosie. Maybe we should get married after all. Imagine the most famous bandit in the county having a sheriff for a stepfather.
Ta-da! Then, of course, there's another genre that seems to have disappeared. Detective shows. I haven't seen a good old-fashioned hard-boiled detective on TV for a long time.
Hard boiled? What is he, a detective or an egg?
That's a bad yolk, Martha.
I don't know. I thought it was exactly the kind of humor we needed on this show.
You must be a little cracked.
Can we stop making these puns now? It's getting exhausting. Besides, I was exasperated trying to come up with any more.
Our next sketch is a typical case solved by one of the world's most famous detectives.
I'm sure it'll be exciting.
Now cut that out!
Name is Spade. Mary Spade. Yeah, you heard me, Mary Spade. I suppose you're wondering why my parents named a man that. Well, they were going to name me Priscilla, but they didn't know how to spell it. I'm a private investigator, very private. I'm so private, nobody knows who I am. Come to think of it, maybe that's why I haven't had a client in 6 years. But I'll never forget that last case. I was in my office one day just sitting around with a belly full of liquor and a head full of ideas when I got a phone call. Yeah, who is it?
Spade, is that you?
No, it's Donald Duck. I only sound like this when I'm not on the set. What do you want this time, Chief?
I just want to ask you if you're going to be spying on my wife like I asked you to.
Yeah, I've been following her for a couple of days now.
Have you found out anything?
Yes, I'm afraid she's having an affair with Arthur Walensky, the eye doctor. I saw her go into his house at midnight last night.
What? She's having an affair with him? I wondered why she's been talking about him so much lately. Oh, this is awful.
Sorry I had to break it to you, Chief, but there's more bad news. She scheduled an appointment with him for this afternoon. She's having eye surgery.
Laser?
I'll say he does.
Well, I'd better go talk to her right away. Better still, I better talk to him right away. I'll kill him. Where are my shoes? Where are my socks?
They're in your bedroom on the floor next to your teddy bear.
Oh, thank you. Hey, how did you know that? You're on the phone.
Yeah, but I'm on your phone. I live in your house, remember? That's how I can see your bedroom.
I thought you was in your office.
Yes, but my office is in your house, remember? You know I can't afford to rent an office building.
Oh, but then, if we're in the same house, why are you talking to me on the phone?
Oh yeah, that is kind of silly now that you mention it. I'll hang up.
That's better. I've got to get out of here and go talk to that damn doctor.
So there I was, alone in my office. I sat at my desk and read the paper. Mysterious series of murders happening around town. People were being poisoned. The chief had told me about it before the papers got to it. We didn't have any clues yet, but I was sure we would soon. So I lit a cigarette and sat there waiting for something to happen. Something always happens when the chief is out. That's when it's up to me to take care of business. And sure enough, there was a knock on the door. I knew it meant trouble. You don't survive in this business as long as I have unless you're always prepared. Here I was in the chief of police's house, alone, with a dangerous killer on the loose. But I wasn't scared. Whoever it was my brains against their fists. And if my brains didn't work, I knew my .45 would. I drew myself up to full height and said, "Come in."
You want to buy any Girl Scout cookies, mister?
Huh?
I'm selling cookies. They're only $1 a box.
Beat it, you little brat. I got business to do. But when I thought about it, I realized I was hungry after all. So I treated myself to a 3-course lunch. A martini, an olive, and a glass. It helped to settle my stomach, but I knew something was going to happen any minute. I sat there waiting when suddenly there was another knock. "Come in." It was a dame. And what a dame. More curves than the Pennsylvania Turnpike. A figure like a department store mannequin modeling a bathing suit in the middle of July. And what a face. She had a face like, well, she had 2 eyes and, gee, I used to be better at this. 2 eyes and a nose and 2 ears and, well, anyway, she was cute. She sachets in and walked right up to my desk, and in a low, husky voice, she says,
Are you sure you don't want to buy any Girl Scout cookies, mister?
"You again, look, kid, you're not supposed to be in this scene. This is a mystery story. We need a sexy dame here, not a little punk like you. Now beat it." Several more hours went by. The chief still hadn't come back. I began to wonder if this private eye business was all it was cracked up to be. Here I wasted a whole day playing solitaire and not one client had come in. I began to think my mother was right. I should have been a dentist. Some days this job is like pulling teeth anyway. Suddenly the phone rang. "Hello?"
Hello, Spade, it's me.
"Oh, hello, Chief. How did that little skirmish with Dr. Walensky come out?"
Well, you see, it turns out he wasn't going to operate on my wife's eyes. He operated on my eyes. He looked at them and decided they were the wrong color.
"What do you mean, the wrong color?"
Well, they were brown, and now they're black and blue. By the way, did you ever find out who's been poisoning people around town?
"No, Chief, I haven't."
Well, I've got a pretty good clue myself. I think it might be...
Oh, excuse me, Chief. There's another call. I'll get back to you later. Hello?
Is this Mary Spade?
Yes. What can I do for you?
I need your help, Mr. Spade. There's been a murder committed.
Yeah? When?
Just now.
I'll be right over. Where do you live?
237 Prescott Avenue.
237? Wait, that's right next door. I'll be right over.
Come in.
Is this where the murder just happened? I'm Airy Spade.
What murder is that, sir?
That one.
Oh, yes, it was terrible, sir. One of my tenants came in here with a gun and ran upstairs. I've never seen anything so horrible.
While she was busy collecting her senses, I took a look at her. She was one of the ugliest dames I'd ever seen in my life.
What?
She was built like a gorilla and looked like she had an IQ to match. She had a face like an overcooked hot dog, and her legs looked like 2 pipe cleaners with too much fuzz on them.
I beg your pardon. How dare you talk about me like that?
Do you mind, lady? I'm describing you to the audience.
I don't care what you're doing, young man. One more crack like that and I'll break your nose.
She had a mouth like a 7-Eleven. It never closed.
Oh, yeah? Take it flat.
She gave me a hard right to the jaw. It reminded me of my old days in the ring. I countered with a kick to the shin.
Oh, you're a dirty son of
Yeah,
a
but she
so-and-so.
could dish it out as well as she could take it. She punched me right in the nose like she said she would. Ah!
Now, look here, me good man. Are you going to keep talking to the audience, or are you going to go upstairs and find out who committed the bleeding murder?
Well, if it's all the same to you, I think I better go upstairs.
You're a smarter man than you look. Oh, and just one more thing, Mr. Spade.
Yes?
Don't you want to buy any Girl Scout cookies?
No! That little brat's a master of disguise. Now, what was all that stuff about a murder up here?
You bet there was a murder up here, and it's gonna be yours, Spade.
I turned around. It was a guy I knew I'd seen somewhere before. He was bigger than a...
Never mind that narrating stuff, Spade. I'll tell him. I'm Spike McGurk.
Spike McGurk?
Yeah, you remember. The fella you sent to prison 20 years ago for robbing a bank?
Oh, yeah, how are you?
I'm in no mood for conversation, Spade. I just broke out and I'm on the lam, see? Now you're gonna give me $500 so I can get out of town or I'll shoot.
He thought he could bluff me, but I wasn't scared. I knew he wouldn't really...
I told you, never mind that stuff, Spade. Are you gonna give me the dough?
Listen, McGurk, I came up here to investigate a murder, and I don't have time to fool around with you. Wait a minute, that's my cell phone. Hello?
Hello, Spade. I just wanted to tell you, we've got a good lead on those poisonings. I think it was...
Wait a minute. Put that phone down, Spade. I want to talk to you.
Chief, I'm having my life threatened.
What, again?
Yeah, I'll have to call you back.
You ain't gonna live long enough to call him back, Spade, if you don't give me that money.
I haven't even got my wallet with me, McGurk. See for yourself. See? My pockets are empty.
Gee, that's too bad, Spade.
Yeah, but my office is right next door. Why don't I go and get it for you? And there he was, more unconscious than 1,000 pages worth of Freud. Guess I done my good deed for the dead.
Nice work, Steve. You knocked him cold.
Well, it's about time you got here, lady. You were supposed to be here 4 pages ago.
Well, wasn't I worth waiting for? You know, this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Now, don't get coy with me, sister. I never mix business with pleasure.
Why not? It could be more fun that way.
No, I know, but I'm here on business. You called me over here because there was a murder, didn't you? I heard 2 gunshots.
Why? There wasn't any murder, Steve. I fired those shots myself.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where's the body?
There isn't any body. I fired those shots just to make you think there was a murder. Just so I could get you up here. Then I knew you'd take care of McGurk and I could see you all alone, big boy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I brought you up here because there's a very important question I want to ask you.
And what is it?
Are you really sure you don't want to buy any Girl Scout cookies? Peanut butter,
What the? You again? All right, I give up. I'll buy your lousy cookies. Here, give me a box of the peanut butter ones.
Gee, thanks a lot, mister.
Hello?
Hello, Spade. I figured out who's been committing all those poisonings. There's some demented little girl putting cyanide in Girl Scout cookies and trying to sell them around town.
Oh, yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Well, aren't you going to give me $1, mister?
Get away from me, you little psychopath. Chief, I'll be right down.
There we go. And now I'd like to go even further back before there was any radio. One of the earliest forms of entertainment was the medicine show. A guy would come into town, usually at a fairground or carnival or something like that, and try to sell stuff and then present live entertainment in order to entice people to buy his products.
So it was basically like a TV commercial, except you couldn't change the channel?
Yeah, pretty much. So suppose we were at a carnival in the early 1900s and we heard something like this. Step right up, folks, step right up. I see there's a large crowd here at the carnival this afternoon, and most of you are probably thinking to yourselves, what does everyone need? Many of you, I'm sure, have a form of illness at one time or another, and I'm here to tell you, folks, I have the cure for all those illnesses. Step right up and meet Dr. Dudley, inventor of the world-famous Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all. Cures bunions, aches, and all kind of stuff like that there. Step right up and buy a bottle. Only 10 cents per bottle. 10 cents, 1 thin dime, 1/10 of a dollar, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up and try it. Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all is 100% guaranteed to cure not only mumps, measles, chills, fever, aches, pains, pneumonia, neuritis, and the whooping cough. It'll improve your love life, cure baldness, improve your eyesight, and it also makes an excellent furniture polish, and it tastes good, too. Step right up and try it, folks.
Dr. Dudley, Dr. Dudley.
Yes, young man, what can I do for you?
What's in this here cure-all that you're selling?
I'm glad you asked me that, young man. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all contains 100% hickory nut oil.
100%?
Well, 99% actually. The other 1% is alcohol. You gotta have a little alcohol in these things. It's good for you.
I'll say it is. Have you got anything a little stronger, a little more alcohol?
Oh, I see. You want one of the big bottles. The big bottles contain 50% alcohol and 40% horseradish and 10% hickory nut oil. That'll cost you 10 cents extra. Now, before I sell it to you, sir, just what seems to be your trouble?
Tell him, Clem. That still sounds awful powerful. It ought to be able to fix us right up.
Well, sir, Dr. Dudley, my problem is that when I close my eyes, I can't see nothing.
A very common ailment. Tell me something, sir. When you drink water, does it taste wet?
Why, yes it does.
And when you stub your toe, does it hurt?
Yes.
And when your wife is not talking, can you hear her?
Well, no.
Aha! These are all very serious symptoms, my good man. I think Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all is just what you need to put you back on your feet. As for you, madam, what is your complaint?
Well, Dr. Dudley, you see, Clem here hasn't been doing his work around the farm lately. He just sits around reading the newspaper, and he don't even know how to read. That lazy good-for-nothing never does any work around here.
Madam, I meant a complaint that could actually be fixed by Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all.
You mean to tell me this here cure-all can't get him to do any work?
I'm afraid not, madam.
Well, then it can't be no good.
Certainly it's good, madam. Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all cures all, any physical ailment you could name. Have you got bunions?
Nope, never eat no buns. They make me cry.
The man said bunions, not onions.
Nope, ain't got them either. Clem and I have been married for 10 years, and I've never had no health problems except headaches.
How long have you been having these headaches?
For 10 years.
Another very common problem. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, madam. To show you I'm true to my word, I'm going to prove to you that Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all is an excellent cure for headaches. I'm going to give you this little sample bottle absolutely free. Here, try it.
Well, what do you know? Dr. Dudley, I feel better already. Well, them headaches are all gone. I feel wonderful. I feel like
I beg your pardon, Dr. Dudley, but it appears my wife has gone and turned into a hog.
Oh, don't worry about that, sir. Just a little side effect. Of course, you know all medicines have a few side effects now and then. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. It'll wear off any moment now. You see, I told you it'd wear off. Now she's a chicken.
Oh, that's much better. I can use the eggs. But ain't she going to turn back into a woman?
I certainly hope so. Now move along, sir. I've got to attract more customers. Now then, folks, step right up and buy a bottle. If you're feeling low down, if you feel like you can't go on, life's too stressful, times are too tough, and you don't know where your next meal is coming from, try a bottle of Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all. You say you've got a bad cold, you've been lying in bed for weeks, can't get any work done, you're all out of chicken noodle soup, and your fever's starting to reach 104. If you've been feeling like that lately, folks, Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all will kill you. Cure you. Wait a moment, folks. I know what you want. I know what it'll take for you to buy a bottle. I know what people really come to these medicine shows for. You want entertainment, don't you, folks? Well, we have here a very unique act. May I present Jack McCloskey, a native of Putnam, Oklahoma. Mr. McCloskey is quite a novelty act, entirely different from any other performer in any other medicine show in the country. And what makes him so different, you ask? Well, I'll tell you, folks. Mr. McCloskey does absolutely nothing. He doesn't sing, he doesn't dance, he can't play an instrument, he's not a contortionist, he's not a ventriloquist. Mr. McCloskey will now stand here on the stage and do absolutely nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack McCloskey. Jack McCloskey, ladies and gentlemen. And now for our second act, Conrad Flugelhorn, the great juggler. Mr. Flugelhorn has practiced the ancient art of juggling for many years and has achieved a level of skill and finesse matched by only a very few in his noble profession. Ladies and gentlemen, Conrad Flugelhorn.
How do you do this again, Dr. Dudley?
I told you, you dummy. Just throw the balls in the air and...
Oh, yeah. Throw the balls in the air. I can do that.
Ouch!
No, Conrad, you're supposed to throw them in the air and then catch them. You can't go hitting my customers in the head like that.
Oh, yeah. I'll try it again. What was that?
The Atlantic Ocean.
I guess I threw it too far. Let me try again. Ain't it supposed to come down, boss?
Yes, it is. That's peculiar, isn't it?
Can I go back inside now, boss?
Yes, Conrad, here's a treat for you.
Thanks, boss.
Conrad Flugelhorn, folks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you more about Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all. It's guaranteed to cure any diseases. For example, my wife about a year ago had... Ouch! Well, never mind my wife. We have one more act for this afternoon's performance, ladies and gentlemen. Henry O'Houlihan, guitarist and singer, who will entertain you with our little theme song. Go ahead, Henry.
Dr. Dudley came from New York town, sells cure-all stuff. He guarantees it'll cure your ills. Believe me, he's no bluff. The stuff we're selling sure as well is bound to clear your head. Why, it'll cure any living thing. It'll even cure the dead. Dr. Dudley is sure to buy his pills. He's got to leave town by 3 o'clock. Please help him pay his bills.
Wait a minute, Henry. I'm not... Wait a minute, Henry. I'm not selling pills.
I know, but I couldn't think of a rhyme for hickory nut cure-all.
Well, there you are, folks. We've given you a full afternoon's entertainment absolutely free. Surely that'll convince you to buy some of Dr. Dudley's patented hickory nut cure-all. Oh! Now, wait a minute. There's no need to get hostile, folks. We're trying our best.
Hey, Dr. Dudley, I want to talk to you.
Uh-oh. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, my wife has changed into 15 different animals in the last half hour.
Well, she looks all right to me now.
Yeah, well, you're just lucky I'm a human at the moment. What the heck was in that stuff anyway? You shouldn't ought to go around selling stuff like that. You see what I mean? Now, I've got a surprise for you, Dr. Dudley. I happen to be the sheriff of this here town, and I'm here to arrest you for selling medicine without a license.
Without a license? Well, of course I have a license. Right here in my pocket.
Oh, you better run for it, mister.
Help! Help! Well, that's about the end of Dr. Dudley, and it's almost the end of our show. But before we go, of course, there's one form of entertainment that started on radio, went to television, and I'm sure it'll live forever and never become old-fashioned, and that's the game show.
Hello, folks. I'm your host, Mary McMillan, welcoming you to another episode of How Stupid Are You? America's favorite game show, where for your entertainment, we present you with people who have no discernible skills whatsoever and laugh at how pathetic they are. And then reward them with free cash prizes. You all know the rules. I ask you a series of questions, and the first one whose stupid answers piss me off the most wins. Let's meet today's contestants. What's your name, sir?
Kyle. I'm like a high school student.
Very good. And our next contestant over here, what's your name?
I can't remember.
Well, I'll try another question. What do you do for a living?
I'm a bootlegger. You know, bootleg alcohol?
What? But the sale of alcohol hasn't been illegal in the United States for more than 80 years.
No wonder I haven't made any money.
And here's our third contestant. Who are you?
Bertram Doherty. I'm a professor of drama at a very important college whose name I can't remember at the moment.
Okay, then. There you have our three contestants. And now it's time for the first question.
Like, who's the first president of the United States?
No, Kyle, I'm supposed to ask you the questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
But you don't have to bring in for that. I was just asking if you were ready for the first question.
Yes, I am.
Stop bringing in. I haven't even asked the first question yet.
No, you haven't.
That wasn't a question. It was a statement.
Yes, it was.
Stop it. The first question is, what famous cartoonist created Mickey Mouse?
Walt Disney.
That's correct. I'm sorry, Professor, but we're trying to prove how stupid you people are. So I'll have to subtract 2 points from your score to get the correct answer.
Oh, too bad.
That's okay. We'll try again on the next question. This is about animals. What kind of animal lives in Australia, has a pouch, and its name starts with a K?
A crocodile.
Sorry, but that's wrong.
Like a rabbit?
Rabbit doesn't start with a K. No, I'm sorry. Professor Doherty, any thoughts on this? No?
I'm afraid I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. It's a kangaroo. Now, The next question is about music. What rock and roll singer had a big hit in 1955 with a song called Heartbreak Hotel? Anyone?
Edgar Allan Poe?
No, I'm sorry, Professor. I said a singer.
Well, how do you know Edgar Allan Poe didn't sing just because you never heard him?
Yes, but he didn't have a hit record in 1955 called The Heartbreak Hotel.
Was it Britney Spears?
No. Looks like it's up to you, Mr. Whatever your name is. I'll give you a hint. His first name was Elvis. Elvis? Come on now, Elvis.
Elvis Costello.
None of you got this one, really. His name was Elvis Presley.
Dude, that was like in the 50s or whatever. I mean, how are we supposed to know about stuff like that? It happened before we were even born. It's not fair.
I don't write the questions, Kyle. Anyway, the next question is about drama. Professor Doherty, this should be right up your alley. What famous English playwright, whose first name was William, wrote Hamlet, King Lear, and A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Edgar Allan Poe?
Hillary Clinton?
No. Kyle? Wow. Really? You guys, you mean you've never heard of William Shakespeare? The single most famous writer in the history of the English language? Really? Wow. Okay. Moving on. What holiday is always celebrated on October 31st?
The 4th of July.
Independence Day?
No.
Edgar Allan Poe's birthday?
It's Halloween. You guys celebrated Halloween when you were kids, didn't you? No? Okay, well, I'll try again. Geography. In what country do you find the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, the Lincoln Memorial, and Mount Rushmore?
Edgar Allan Poe.
That is not a country, Professor Doherty.
Oh.
A kangaroo?
No.
Like France?
No. It's our country. America, the United States. Don't you people ever do any traveling?
No.
That was a rhetorical question.
Awesome! Do we get like bonus points for answering it?
No, you fool! Now then, Professor Doherty, this question should be useful to you. It's about American literature. What famous poet wrote a poem called The Raven? Well, come on. The Raven. You should know this. Come on.
Walt Whitman.
No.
William Shakespeare?
No.
Like Henry Wadsworth, what's his name?
No. It was Edgar Allan Poe. Everybody knows that. All right. I'll keep trying. What kind of animal has 4 legs and a tail, eats mice, and says meow? Really? You guys don't know that one?
A three-toed sloth?
No, it's not a 3-toed sloth. What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
What do you think? The answer is a cat. Don't any of you have cats? Haven't you ever seen a cat or known someone who owns a cat? Maybe seen them on TV? Everyone knows what a cat is. Okay, I'll try again. What letter of the alphabet comes after A?
W?
Like pizza? Pizza? Is it pizza? I'm like really hungry.
No, the answer is not pizza, Kyle.
Albert Einstein?
It's B. The answer is B. You mean to tell me they don't teach the alphabet in school anymore? None of you knew this? This is ridiculous. All right, I'll try an easy one. What sound does a moron make? That is absolutely correct. Oh, see, now I have to subtract 2 points from your score for getting one right. Now, next question. What sound does a moron make when he's hit on the head with a mallet?
Ow!
Correct! That's another 2 points we'll have to take off. Now, we've got time for just one more question. What kind of fruit is used to make orange juice? Anyone?
Pineapples?
No.
Ow!
Edgar Allan Poe?
No, no, no! It's oranges! Oranges, you idiots! Oranges are used to make orange juice! What's wrong with you people? Don't you read any books? Don't you know anything at all? Is this what we've come to, bringing completely illiterate buffoons onto national TV? Why did I have to take this job? All I wanted was to entertain people, maybe educate them a little bit. And this is what I end up doing for a living. Asking questions to a group of jerks who don't know anything. This is what my life has come to? Why couldn't I have been a concert violinist or a brain surgeon or a ballet dancer like I wanted to when I was a little girl? But no, I had to spend the last 10 years of my life doing this. I'm young, I've got so much of my life ahead of me, travel, romance, excitement. But no, I can't have any of that, because I have to stay here the rest of my life talking to people like you who don't even know what a cat is, and hosting this lousy game show nobody even watches. Wait a minute, that's it. You remember the rules of the game. Whoever pisses me off first wins, and you all piss me off at once, so it's a three-way tie! Congratulations, you win the grand prize, $1 million shopping spree at the store of your choice, so that you can continue to contribute to America's corporate greed instead of spending the money on reforming our school system, so that you can continue to perpetuate this kind of utter ignorance for the rest of your lives!
Hooray!
I love it.
Well, that's about the end of our show. Well, Martha, what did you think of our little tour through Radioland? Martha? Well, I hope our audience liked it a little more than she did. Thank you, folks. Thank you. I just have a couple of things I want to say quickly before we go. It took about 6 months to get this show done. I started writing it back in September, so it was a lot of hard work for all of us, and it's just... I'm so grateful to see a packed house here laughing at this stuff, so thank you for coming. And now that you've seen what these guys can do, I want to introduce again Dick Lee. And Martha Michael. And Michael Mallon. And I'm Andrew Gilmore, but who cares? And thank you. And we are going to be performing this same show at the Chestnut Hill Hotel on March 29th. And that's a much bigger room, so we need a lot of people there. So I'd appreciate it if you would take these and spread them around. And tell your friends how much you enjoyed this show. We could use your help. So.
You tell your enemies.
And your enemies. So that's about it. Thank you so much for being here.
Great job. Good job, man.
Thank you.